Great. Good morning, everybody. We'll officially start the press conference. Thank you very much. We do apologize for our tardiness and certainly respect you joining us this morning and greatly appreciate it. I am very pleased to have Team USA figure skaters here this morning to speak to you. To my left, we have Madison Chock and Evan Bates. This is Maddie and Evan's fourth Olympic Games as a team, so clearly veterans of our team. They are three-time world champions, 2022 Olympic team event champions as well. Welcome, Evan and Maddie. Next to them, we have Ilia Malinin. Ilia is a two-time world champion, three-time Grand Prix final titleist, and is making his Olympic Games debut here in Milan. And last but certainly not least, Amber Glenn, our 24 Grand Prix final champion, three-time national champion, and also making her Olympic debut here in Milan. And so maybe we will open it up, and we'll open it up to our athletes to start the conversation, but kicking it off with Maddie and Evans, obviously what you've seen in Italy and how this compares and the excitement of coming into your fourth Games together.
Everything about our experience here in Italy has been wonderful so far. The venue is incredible. We have been in this venue before, but seeing it again remodeled has been amazing with the Olympic rings everywhere, and then experiencing everything with our teammates and a lot of first-time Olympians has been so special to see the Olympic magic through their eyes, and we're so grateful to witness it and to be taking part in our fourth Olympics together.
We have Ilia, go ahead.
This is just such an honor to be here. I am genuinely thrilled for everything that will happen here in these next few days and weeks. It's been such an honor, and I'm just so excited to be here, and I'm really looking forward to sharing every moment here.
It has been a whirlwind, I'd say, since nationals, but I've really just kept my head down and have been training. It feels like I'm just getting ready for any other competition, but it's extra special because I get to share it with the people I've been watching for so many years and have been inspired by, and I'm really excited to share these next few weeks with these great teammates of mine.
Great, and we are streaming today's press conference. I would ask that you raise your hand, please, and we'll bring a microphone over so that everybody can hear you on the stream. We've got the first row right here. Oh, no, keep going. Yep.
Thank you, Belle. Christine Brennan with USA Today. Good to see all of you. To each of you, but especially Maddie and Evan and Ilia in terms of the timing, the team competition obviously is very important, of course. Your individual events also clearly are, I guess we could probably say, maybe more important to you individually. You've got the close proximity, Ilia and Evan and Maddie, to your individual events with the team competition. So close, one day after and then 2 days after for you, Ilia. Amber, you've got plenty of time, obviously, afterwards. Could you talk about the importance of the team, and when it pertains to your scheduling, how do you balance that with the importance of your individual event as well? Thank you.
I think any time you get the opportunity to compete at the Olympics, you want to cherish it, and so there's nothing but positives for us here. Having the opportunity to take Olympic ice 4 times is something that we're very grateful for and very excited for, and so we really hope that it's as special as we want it to be, and I think there's no reason why it shouldn't be. So we're just very, very excited for the opportunity.
Yeah, you said it, Maddie, you said it well. The team event is extremely important to us as well. Of course, individual event, growing up, that was what we all dreamt of because the team event didn't exist until Sochi. With that said, though, I think having the opportunity to compete as a team is so special, and this team in particular is so deep, so talented, and has a great opportunity, I think, for a gold medal. So that's what we're focused on, and like Maddie said, though, anytime you get the opportunity to skate on Olympic ice, you should say yes.
Being here, part of this team on Team USA is just something that I've always dreamed about every time I stepped on the ice when I was little. And being here with all of these amazing people, amazing personalities, amazing athletes that give their heart and soul and passion to everything in the sport, it's just genuinely an honor to be here sharing Olympic ice with them. And I really hope that, you know, we can come out together as a team and support each other no matter what happens.
I don't know if you want to hear from me or not. I mean, it's not as vital. Obviously, the scheduling is very different for the ladies than the men and ice dance. But it's all going to come down to the decisions that the athletes and the people in charge make. And I know that no matter what, we are going to prioritize both physical and mental health over everything. But I think no matter who does what event, the depth and talent, like Evan and Maddie said, is absolutely incredible on this team. So I just hope that people get the opportunity to compete as many times as they would like and get to experience the games to their best of their ability, whatever that may include or not include, that is up to the individual. And I just hope that everyone can enjoy their time.
I'm Brian Mann with National Public Radio, NPR. I'm wondering if you guys could talk about how you're feeling emotionally about the opportunity here to compete in an environment that's freer. I mean, 4 years ago, the pandemic was still on. There was also an incredible scandal that stole so much attention away from what was happening on the ice. And I wonder if you're hopeful, excited about the idea that this time it will really be about your performances, not about that other stuff.
I think, like I said earlier, this has just been the most incredible experience so far, and being able to socialize with other athletes in the cafeteria, trade pins freely and openly without having to worry so much about COVID or bubble restrictions, it has just been incredible. You see the buzz, the excitement amongst the athletes, and it's so beautiful because that's what the Olympics is about. It's about uniting people and sharing in this experience that we've all worked our entire lives to accomplish, is just to be here at the Olympics and to perform at our very best.
Kelly O'Grady with CBS News. It is so exciting to watch this moment of American dominance in figure skating that you are all a part of. Arguably, you guys have a shot at 3 out of 4 gold medals for the US. This is a question for all of you. What does it mean to be a part of this very special moment for the USA? And how do you balance the pressure of all of that when you go out there on the ice?
Being part of this team is something that I will always be grateful for. And like I said earlier, starting from a young age, coming here to the Olympics was such a dream of mine and something that both also runs in my family, and it's so nice to keep that tradition up. But being just here with everyone and part of this team is so incredible, and they all give me the support and the help I need to really stay focused and really stay under that, you know, perfect sweet spot for what I need to perform my best out here.
I'm so impressed with the younger generation of skaters, Ilia included. I would include Amber in that as a first-time Olympian. And like you said, the depth is there and the talent is there. But more than anything, what I notice about the younger generation is the spirit, the curiosity, the fearlessness. Those things, I think, in my first couple games, it was different. You know, the Olympics, is the magnitude of it, sometimes it's overwhelming, but like seeing it, like Maddie said, through the kids' eyes, it's so exciting. It's so positive, and I think that's what's exciting about it, and hopefully inspiring for the next generation of skaters who are watching these games and watching these young skaters and see them on TV and see the smiles and the fearlessness and just going for it. And I think that's what's great, and it's the perfect balance of handling the nerves and the stage and just going out there with absolute joy and freedom.
Hi, I'm Devika with Postmedia. I'm here. Hi, Devika with Postmedia, Canadian news publication. This question would be maybe specifically for Evan, although if anyone else wanted to chime in, that'd be great. Evan, I know you've been vocal about facing, on and off back issues and maybe potentially chronic back pain, and you've kind of spoken to how that's something that you've potentially had to fight through in previous competitions and kind of have treatment for. To the extent that you're comfortable with, how are you feeling, today? Could you kind of speak to, what you've kind of done in the past few months to make sure that, that's kind of mitigated going into the Olympic performance? And sort of a part two, in moments where you've had to compete with that pain or with issues, would you feel comfortable just going through, generally what's going through your mind when you're having to compete with this threat or with this fear of these back pain issues?
Yeah, I think this year with the exposure of having the documentary follow us has been really incredible. It's shown a lot of behind the scenes of what goes into being an elite athlete, and I think so many athletes go out on center ice and present a strength that many fans maybe don't see the totality of what is really behind the scenes. And I have dealt with some back pain, some neck issues for a number of years, and I think it's no different than many athletes who face injury all the time. I'm 36, and it's my 5th Olympics, and there's mileage on the body, and what we do isn't easy, and it's very physical. So I think I'm feeling good. Thank you for your question. We've been really smart and intentional with our training this year, limiting the number of reps on things like lifts that could potentially cause a problem. But we've found a great balance between pushing and also prioritizing recovery and health. And we're feeling really good heading into the games and excited to be here.
Thank you. We'll do down the front right here.
Right here, Jordan Mendoza with USA Today. This question's for Ilia. You had talked about breaking in new skates for U.S. championships, and you kind of played it safe there. I was curious to know how are they feeling right now, and wanted you to talk about the kind of like the challenges of breaking in new skates, especially when it's on you're competing in the Olympics, and any other skaters can talk about the challenges of breaking in those new skates as well too.
I think breaking in new skates is something that every skater has to go through at some time in their career, and for me specifically, it's not always a fun time because it brings a lot of issues and problems where you have to know where it aligns on the blade or how the boots move themselves and if it's comfortable for you or if you just need to get used to it. So there's a lot of different characteristics and aspects that go into this, but overall it just shows a lot of the mental strength that we have to go through this process in order to be the best skaters that we can ever be. And for me specifically now, I feel good. They've started cooperating with me a few days ago, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how they'll do under pressure.
Hi, Rory Carroll with Reuters News down here. Hi, guys. Just piggybacking on the earlier question about the U.S. success, what do you attribute this sort of era of U.S. success, this last season being so successful, and how much do you feed on each other's success? Thanks.
Well, I think the U.S. has had a long history of success in figure skating, and the skaters before us have really paved the way for what has inspired us as a generation, and hopefully we can continue that inspiration into many generations to come. I think there's something so unique and beautiful about skating. It makes it different than any other sport because you really get to see the individuality and the creativity of each athlete. They have the opportunity to reinvent themselves and show a new side of themselves in each program, each season that they compete. And I think it's a really great opportunity for individuality and to just show how beautiful and unique each person is. And through sport, it's the best you can, it's the best sport in my opinion. But shh, don't tell the other sports.
Good morning, everybody. Right here, Juliette McCurr with the New York Times. My question is for Maddie and Evan. Can you describe a little bit about what it was like to compete in Beijing with nobody in the stands and no family and friends there, and also kind of tell us about how important it is, or if you, yeah, how important it is to have family and friends at an event this big.
I think in Beijing, by that time, it was February 2022, we had established what a pandemic felt like. We had done a World Championships in a largely empty arena, and as odd as it was, at that point it wasn't new. With that said, coming back to an Olympics, having people here, not having a partition in the dining hall, not having a COVID test every morning, you remember some of the aspects of the Olympics that we lost in Beijing. And it's so nice and it's so wonderful to be back here. Like Maddie spoke to, the first couple days, the energy in the village is incredible. The setup is great. People are excited. People are pin trading, maskless, and those things, I think, you know, are an integral part of the Olympic Games. And so we're so grateful for the opportunity in Beijing. It could have been canceled. It could have been delayed, but it wasn't. But we're happy everyone's here again in Milan.
And that being said, it's just an incredible opportunity for our families and our friends to be here and share this experience with us. I know so many, like almost all of them wanted to come to Beijing, and when they couldn't, they were sad and we were sad. But now they're all here, and it's so special because they have been such an integral part of our journey and have supported us our entire lives and our entire path to get to this point. So this is as much for them as it is for us, and so it's so nice to be able to share that with them.
Hi, this is Halvor Egland from Norwegian TV. I have a question for Amber. You've kind of been one of the front figures of the LGBT community, and I think back in 2024, when Trump was elected, you said something, you were heartbroken, something like that. I understand that this might be a tough question to answer, but I will ask it anyway. So how do you feel about Trump's approach towards the LGBT community, and also how does it affect you personally?
Yeah, it's been a hard time for the community overall under this administration. It isn't the first time that we've had to come together as a community and try and fight for our human rights. And now especially, it's not just affecting the queer community, but many other communities. And I think that we are able to support each other in a way that we didn't have to before. And because of that, it's made us a lot stronger. I hope I can use my platform and my voice throughout these games to try and encourage people to stay strong in these hard times. I know that a lot of people will say, you're just an athlete, like stick to your job, shut up about politics, but politics affect us all. It is something that I will not just be quiet about because it is something that affects us in our everyday lives. So, of course, there are things that I disagree with, but as a community, we are strong and we support each other, and brighter days are ahead of us.
Hi, Ilia. Question for yourself, please. I'm Greg Lafredi from CGTN. Ilia, you come in here to your first Winter Olympics, but you've got a major target on your back as the two-time defending world champion. How are you dealing with that pressure, and is it something that motivates you and encourages you, or is it something that you just have to handle?
That's a great question, honestly. I honestly have a good answer for that as well. It's kind of both options here and there. A lot of the times it is a lot to handle when you have all the pressure, all the attention, all the focus on you to become the Olympic gold hopeful. And a lot of the times I'll have bad days where I think about that and it really shuts me down and it really puts me in, not the best moods. But overall, I think, again, that's something that everyone has to go through, and they have to find their way to motivate themselves or keep them together during that pressure. And a lot of the times I'm able to use that pressure to embrace myself and tell me, everyone's looking at you. You have all the attention. Now it's your time to go out there and do what you know how to do and put all the trust you have on everything you worked to up to this moment. And it's just something that I will always be grateful for. And I'm honestly thankful for all the pressure and the intention.
Tiffany Nguyen with the LA Times. Maddie, I actually wanted to follow up on what you were talking about in terms of like the sport being kind of an individual sport or like a place to show your individuality. I think Justin Dillon was talking about how one of the strengths of USA figure skating right now is actually like the collaboration, and that's kind of one of the reasons why you guys have been so strong top to bottom. So I was wondering how you have seen that spirit of collaboration show up in a sport that also celebrates kind of individuality, and how, not only for you, Maddie, but all of you, how you think you're strengthened by collaboration with your teammates.
Well, I think that's what's beautiful about the figure skating team is we genuinely love and care for each other very deeply and want to see one another succeed to the highest potential that we all have. And I think that just comes from supporting one another. We support each other to help us all achieve our dreams and our goals. And like I said, skating is beautiful because of that. It brings us together and it highlights our individuality. And when we support each other, we just are able to show our best selves when we step onto the ice.
Hi there, Jen from NBC News. For Ilia and Amber, this is obviously your first Olympics. You're no stranger to the high stakes competition. Does this feel different? When you got here, when you were on Olympic ice practicing, does this feel different? And what are you most looking forward to outside of the actual competition? Like Evan said, he was talking about pin trading and how fun it is. I mean, this is where you get to experience being with so many other members of Team USA.
Coming here to these games, it was such an inspiration for me to work the hardest I can and really put all the time, all the dedication to really perfect everything I can about my skating leading up to these games. And coming here, the environment is just so incredible. There's so much excitement and energy that, just flies through the village, and you feel it every morning how every single athlete is so happy and so grateful to be there, and it's just honestly so cool going into like a cafeteria and seeing so many team jackets, and it's just something that I really never imagined, that so many athletes of different sports and different kinds being in the same area. It's honestly just gives me such a thrill. But of course, with that said, you still have to, what your focus is, so it's can be very hard if you try to blow it out of proportion, but of course, to me, I always think this as another competition.
Yeah, for me, I really had to focus on keeping a balance of wanting to perfect everything I can, but I also, at 26, I'm a little bit of a dinosaur in ladies singles, which is absurd, but it is true. So I've really had to balance the pushing, but also this is just another competition. I just need to do my job and do the best that I can. So with that, it's just like nationals again, but I've just had a bit more time to prepare, which has been lovely. And honestly, I expected to get here and be like looking around like, oh my God, this is so crazy, this is so intense. I got on the ice and I just felt like I was at a training camp almost, because we're here for so long. I feel like the intensity wore off pretty quickly, and now it's just a really cool, fun experience. Like we're at sleepaway camp, or like I haven't gone to college yet. I'm like waiting, and it feels like I'm in like a college dorm, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. And there's like a dining hall, and like I've been doing like a lot of the pin trading. Like I have the whole bag. Like it's been so cool and so fun. I feel like a kid again, and I think overall this is just a unique opportunity. I mean, how many people can say they went to the Olympics? Like, not many. So I'm just trying to embrace that and remind myself that this is a great opportunity, not just a competition, but also I am here to do a job. So.
Great. We'll have two final questions. We've got the Washington Post and AP.
Sure. Hi everyone. Robert Samuels with the Washington Post. Two questions, actually, to follow up on the one before. Could each of you identify something that's surprised you so far about the experience? And the follow-up to that, is there anything that you're doing differently about the way you're approaching this competition, given all of the craziness that comes with being at the Olympics?
I don't think much can surprise these two anymore.
I don't mean to sound, I don't know, like, I mean, it's right on par with an Olympic Games as I've experienced them in the past, in the best way possible. And to your second question, we haven't changed much about our approach because, like these guys know, it's a skating competition and we've been doing it our entire lives. So to deviate from what has gotten us here would be a disservice to ourselves. So, yeah.
I will say I was pleasantly surprised that we could foster plants in the village while we were here. It really brightens up our room, freshens up the air. So there's a spot in this little Corona house, which is also an incredibly tranquil space. If you go inside, there are tons of plants everywhere, the ceiling and all the windows, it's all glass. So you can just go in there and relax and listen to calming music, and then you can also take a little plant back to your room and feed it and water it, give it sunlight. And then at the end of your stay, you return the plant, and then they give it to a local from Milan, and the plant gets a new home. So I thought that was really beautiful and just a nice way, a nice little touch in the village.
If anyone wants more information on that, please look at Isabel Oviedo's TikTok. It is a lovely video, and there is a part 2 to come. So shout out to that. You will be very entertained.
Yeah, kind of what they've said. It's pretty similar to how we would approach any other competition. I mean, of course, everyone tells you that it's the Olympic Games, it's one of the biggest moments of your life, but at the same time, it's going out here, you know why you're here, and it's because of all the hours, all the work that you've done, and really coming out here is, you should treat it no differently than any other competition.
Sorry. James Ellingworth from the Associated Press. I'm sure you've all been aware of the saga around the Minions this week. You know, the music clearance issues, and obviously that cropping up ahead of the Olympics. How could you talk through perhaps how you and your team work to prevent that kind of situation from arising? Have there ever been any great program ideas you've just had to kind of cast aside, you couldn't go forward with because of rights issues? And is it ever a source of nerves or anxiety that the music could be taken away from you?
I've been keeping up to date with this Minion saga. I have been on it. So far, I know he has 3 out of 4 pieces cleared. He's currently in talks with Pharrell Williams, music. I am on this. I told people they were going to see the Minions at the Olympics, and I don't want to be a liar. So I have been keeping up to date with that. And I also know, I know all the facts. He went on a website called Click and Clear that is an associate with the ISU, but then they said, no, it's not. It's we can't click. We don't know. We have tried our hardest to get everything cleared, do what we can, and honestly, a producer could just decide, never mind, no. We don't have 100,000% control over this is great, this is 100% clear. I think we do our best. I don't know if you guys had any music that wasn't cleared and that you're planning to skate to. But I've honestly just seen from what avenues I have available to me that it is clear, and then I'm just hoping and praying that I don't get an email saying, oh, by the way, they reached out and they said they don't want you to use it. So I think it's been a very strenuous process for many of us, but we have a great team around us that is supposed to kind of handle that, because we have a job to do. We have to go and ice skate. The people around us for me at least, I'm kind of hey, can you deal with that? I'm just going to go and do my job. So for me, I just focus on what I can control and what I can do, and let the people around me handle that kind of stuff.
For me, it's something that we kind of all worry about, and for me especially, I like to pick really unique pieces of music that I skate to, and there's a lot of the challenges of whether people will like it, but also is whether you'll be able to skate to it. So I always try to reach out to, you know, whoever's in charge of that decision for music, and, you know, especially I like to reach out to the artist directly and, you know, try that as an option. And most of the time, it usually works out in my favor. And especially this year, everyone was so hopeful and so supportive of this, and they're really excited for me to skate to their piece of music. So of course, as Amber kind of said, you really don't know what you're getting into, but you kind of just have to hope everything works out.
Yeah, if I do get a message from Madonna saying she doesn't want me to skate to her music, I mean, I'll just be excited to get a message from Madonna. So, but let's hope that doesn't happen.
Great. On that note, thank you very much for joining us. If you stay seated, very shortly we will have our fellow Team USA speed skaters joining you on the podium. Yeah, let's do a group photo.
This is our fun. This is our fun. This is our fun at 9:30 in the morning.
All right, any last photos? Perfect, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Perfect, thank you guys. Thank you.
Right here. We need another chair. We're just going to share seats. Here, slide these down.
All right, hello everyone, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us here today. My name is Alicia Rumler and I'm the press officer for the U.S. Long Track Olympic team. And I have the immense honor of introducing some of our 2026 Winter Olympic athletes on this morning's panel. I'll begin with a brief introduction of the athletes before we move to a guided discussion, and then we'll open to questions from the press. Jordan Stolz made his Olympic debut at just 17 back in 2022. In the years since Beijing, Stolz has won 10 World Championships medals, including 7 golds, 2 silver, and 1 bronze. In 2024, he set the 1,000-meter world record. Go down the line. Cooper McLeod is a 2025 World Championships medalist in the 500-meter and team sprint, and this is his first Olympic Games. He'll be competing in 2 events, the 500-meter and the 1,000-meter. We have Erin Jackson, who is the 2022 Olympic champion in the 500-meter. This Olympics, Erin will defend her gold and add the 1,000-meter distance as well. This is Erin's 3rd Olympic Games, and she will also be the Team USA flag bearer in the opening ceremony. Casey Dawson, Emery Lehman, and Ethan Seperin make up the U.S. men's team pursuit team. They are 2022 Olympic bronze medalists, and since 2022, they have become world record holders and world champions in the team pursuit. All 3 are at the top of their game in individual events as well. Casey Dawson holds the national record in both the 5K and 10K. This is his 2nd Olympic Games. Emery Lehman is here to compete in his 4th Olympic Games in both the team pursuit and 1,500 meter. And Ethan Seperin, this is his 2nd Olympic Games and will also race in the mass start. We have Mia Manganello is the 2018 bronze medalist in the team pursuit, and this is her 3rd Olympic Games. She enters this Games as #1 in the mass start World Cup rankings. And then we have Brittany Bowe on the end. This is her 4th Winter Olympic Games, making her one of the most successful Winter Olympians in history. She has Olympic bronze medals in both the 1,000-meter and team pursuit and holds the world record in the 1,000-meter. So I'm going to start with a few questions for the athletes before we open. Brittany, I'll start with you on the end. You've publicly spoken about this being your last Olympic Games, and this is your 4th, and your impact on the speed skating Olympic movement has been significant. How is your approach to this Games different than previous Games, and what legacy do you hope to leave?
Each Olympic cycle for me has been drastically different, and going into this Olympic cycle, knowing it's my last one, I've been able to kind of reflect on my entire journey while still being in the weeds of it, so to speak. But I've really just been able to enjoy the process, enjoy the moment, and really just grateful and blessed to have a long, successful career and end it on my terms. I'm really excited to have one more opportunity here in Italy to represent myself, my family, my friends, and my country. It's been an honor of a lifetime.
Thank you. And Mia, similarly for you, you've now been to 3 Olympic Winter Games. You're going to this Olympics as #1 in the World Cup standings in mass start. Comparing your first Games to now, how have you changed your approach to coming into a Games, and what do you hope to accomplish this Games for you?
Yeah, I mean, kind of to follow up what Brittany said, like, this is an incredible honor to be here and be able to represent your country, and to be able to do it 3 times is kind of a dream come true. My expectations are obviously to win. I had an amazing season this year leading up to these Games, and it's something that I've devoted my life to, and it's nice that with this being my last Games, it's all kind of rising to the top at the moment. So, but I'm hoping just to enjoy it, be present, yeah, and just enjoy it.
Thank you so much. And Erin, I'll jump to you really quick. You're returning to defend your 500-meter gold medal. You've talked about loving the pressure and how you thrive with it, and you've also been incredibly resilient, overcoming injuries this year. What is it about the Olympics and sports that keeps you reaching for more?
Excuse me. I just think I've been really fortunate to live this life because I've been a skater ever since I can remember. I grew up roller skating just for fun, and I just think it's really amazing that I get to do this basically as my job now. So I think that's what keeps me coming, is just loving the sport, loving what I do, loving that it takes me around the world, and I get to meet amazing people and hang out with these cool kids all the time, and yeah, I just love what I'm doing.
Thank you. And for our Team Pursuit team, and I'd love to hear from each of you, you're entering this competition with 4 more years skating together than the last Winter Games where you won your bronze. What is it about the 3 of you that has built such a successful team, and what difference do you think it makes to have skated together for so long? We'll start with Casey and move down the line.
Yeah, I think what makes us such a successful team is that we skate together every single day and we put in the work and it pays off. You know, we have been the overall World Cup champions for the last 5 years, and we have a World Championship under our belt last season, and also we've broken the world record a couple times, and it's just all because of our dedication to this craft, and I think that's what makes us the best in the world, is that, you know, we are in it to win it every time we step to the line, and we just communicate so well, and we're just like a band of brothers, pretty much. We just roll with it, pretty much.
Yeah, I would say completely agree with Casey. I would add that we're just willing to go to war with each other and for each other. Even on our individual days, we understand that, you know, we're all one piece of a whole, that, you know, we can't do this without each other, that we wouldn't be as strong of individual skaters without the work of each other. You know, at one point, this is just an idea, it was a dream, and, you know, it's really bonded us together to see it through and see Emory through, and, you know, we just want to make it happen out there.
Yeah, I think our coach does a good job of instilling that team effort and kind of putting us together and making it happen. So I think that's the biggest difference between us and some of the other teams, is we really we do a lot of bonding and training together, but I think we also just place a lot of importance on the event, and I think that's kind of shown in our results over the years.
Perfect, thank you. For Cooper, coming down towards the end of this line, this past season you won a bronze medal at World Championships, and you're now here at your first Olympic Games. What are you looking forward to most with the competition here at the Olympics? And has there been any advice given to you by your fellow athletes that you're taking into this Games?
Yeah, it's been a lot. I'm very excited to get to compete here. It's the best stage to compete in the world, top athletes in the world, so very excited to get the opportunity to do all that. And biggest piece of advice has just been to stay in the moment. You don't get the opportunity to do this every single year, so it's every 4 years you need to take advantage, because you don't know if you get the chance to come back. So I'm gonna try to do that.
And have you received any advice from your fellow athletes?
Just stay in the moment. That was there's a lot of noise going on outside. There's a lot of stuff just around that is just not competing. So just trying to simplify and do what we train to do every single day.
Love that. And then finishing off here with Jordan. Jordan, your first Games was in Beijing. You were one of the youngest Olympians there. Now going into this Games with 4 years of experience and incredible success, what are you doing differently in your approach?
Well, it feels nice to be back at the Olympic Games, and I've had 3.5 years, technically 4 years, to prepare for another one. So a lot of things have happened along the way, and each year has just been kind of like you learn a little bit more, and it's more I can bring into this season, and I think right now I'm exactly where I would want to be.
Thank you so much. We'll now have about 15 minutes to get questions from the press here. If you have a question for the panelists, please raise your hand. You will be given a microphone when I call on you. If you could please introduce yourself, say who your question is for, that would be appreciated. We could start up here in the front. The microphone over here.
Hi, Jen Croto with NBC News. My question is for Aaron. Can you just take us through the moment when you found out you were chosen as the flag bearer and just what that means to you and, you know, it being, you know, another Olympics for you and stuff and just how you're all feeling and just what it means?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really big honor, and I'm super grateful, especially, you know, being chosen by my teammates. And then the moment when I found out, I was actually at practice with my team, which was really cool. So our coach kind of sat us down on the edge of the ice and announced it to the team. And it was just a really cool moment. And having Brittany right next to me because she was the flag bearer for the last Olympics. So yeah, just trying to keep the legacy going.
Hello, my name is Vlado Veljanovski, National Television, the Netherlands. I have two questions for Jordan. It's hot in the speed skating arena. What's your opinion about that?
That it's hot inside?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's fine. I'd rather have it warm than it being really cold, as long as the ice is good.
When will these Olympics be successful with you?
I think if I can have like the perfect races, not even perfect, but just what I can do, you know, in the moment and have it be, you know, close to 100%, I'll be happy with that. If something goes wrong, then obviously there's nothing I could have really done about that. But yeah, I'd be happy if it just goes according to the plan and goes well.
But how many medals?
I would like, obviously, in the best case scenario, I'd like to have 4 medals. I can't say which color they're going to be.
Who's your biggest opponent? The Dutch, the Polish guy, or yourself?
Zurich is pretty good. The Polish guy, Yannick Debus, is pretty good. Yeah, and I guess myself.
Hi, Deanie Wimmer from KSL TV. My question's for Cooper. I'm sorry, Casey also and Cooper. Can I do that? Can I do 2 questions? Casey, when we talked last fall, you had mentioned that you just hoped you could race and focus on your race and not all the things swirling around. Will you tell us kind of some of those things that you were dealing with in the last Olympics and if you've been able to focus on just your race?
Yeah, the last Olympics, you know, were kind of a trial run for me. And also the whole COVID pandemic has kind of tainted that experience for me with showing up late and, you know, not being able to race all my distances. I was 21 then, you know, kind of still the rookie on the team. And, you know, I missed my 5,000 meter event and showed up 12 hours before my 1,500. And now this time around, I'm actually able to compete in every single event that I qualified for. You know, I'm skating in 4 events, the 5K, 10K, team pursuit, and the 1,500. And I'm just looking to, you know, give it my all. I'm in the best shape I've been in ever. I, you know, have a gold in the World Cup this past season in the 5,000 meter. So I'm just looking forward to, you know, locking in and having fun as well. I think it's hard to lose what, you know, you're here for. I'm just looking forward to representing everyone I know proudly, my home state of Utah and the USA. It's always an honor to wear the flag on my back whenever I race.
Thank you. Cooper, we talked last fall, and you talked about how just missing by a fraction of a second had really made you train with a vengeance and made you stronger. Talk about how you're feeling going into these games.
Oh, I'm very excited, you know. Missed out by, I think, 0.05 of a second at our last Olympic trials. And getting to see all the my teammates up here get to experience all these things 4 years ago was pretty big and motivating. You have 2 options. You can either, when something like that happens, you can either be sad and quit, or you can buckle down and improve. So each year has been a big reflection point, each off-season of how can I get better a little bit at a time. So I'm very excited to get to go and show all the improvements I've made this time around.
Hi, it's Lisa from the Olympic Information Service. I have a question for both Jordan and Erin. First of all, for Jordan, how do you deal with the pressure of being one of the top favorites for multiple goals here, and how do you kind of hold your nerve?
Well, I try not to think about it too much. It's more so like another competition. Once you get to the line, it's the same thing you've been doing for multiple years. So everything around you is just noise, and that's how I try and think about it.
And for Erin, I know you've been struggling physically. How are you right now? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. My hamstring is as good as it's been. My back is kind of same old, but I've gotten used to kind of dealing with it, and it's in a pretty good spot right now. So yeah, I'm ready to go. It's going to be exciting having 2 events this time around. It'll be my first time, racing something other than the 500, so I'm ready to go.
You have to raise your hand higher.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Juliette McCurr with the New York Times. First of all, there's so many of you, and so any of you can answer this question, but so many of you had also competed at the last Olympics, so I wanted to know what you remember from that, having no fans and just, it being in COVID and just skating with no spectators there or no family or friends, and how this Olympics might be different having hopefully a packed grandstand.
Sure. I know for me, winning a medal in Beijing actually felt quite empty. It made me realize that I'm doing this for so many more people than just myself. Crossing that finish line and not being able to see your family and your friends and everybody that's been a part of your journey was kind of sad. And I think this time around, just having their energy in the stands is really, really great. And I think that was kind of the same from a lot of athletes. It's like you've accomplished this thing you've been working for all your life, but you don't have the people that you love and care about the most to share it with. And so for me, that's going to be the greatest thing about this Olympics, is getting on the ice for warm-up, for my race, after my race, and seeing all of those people that have been a part of my journey since day one.
So, very excited to have family and everybody here because for myself, like my dad was one of my first coaches, and my oldest brother Eric was also one of my first coaches. And so, having people that have been such an essential part to my career and just, well-being, there's no one else I'd rather have to share the experience with, and hopefully, life-changing moments, and just have them be able to experience and see it and live it as well and see it through.
I think it just brings energy into the arena.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but I feel like the crowd almost kind of carries you through the finish line. Most of my best races, I've had a big crowd around me, and I think having that little extra noise almost takes away from the pain in your legs. So it's kind of a funny effect, but it's always fun having a big crowd.
James Ellingworth from the Associated Press. Question to Mia, to Ethan and Jordan as well, about the mass starts. And, what is it like to kind of go from that transition of being 2 of you on the ice to being in a pack of skaters? And, how do you cope with that transition in terms of kind of managing your own focus, the situational awareness of other people around you? Does it require different preparation?
Well, for me, I grew up in inlines alongside Brittany, later Erin Kam. But then I also dabbled in cycling as well. And so for me, the mass start really is a bike race. It's a crit race on ice. I'm less of a time trialist mentally and more of a head-to-head competitor. So for me, having my competitor right next to me and being able to see that almost relaxes me. And I would say it is a team sport. We can have up to 2 athletes per country out there, and it's definitely an opportunity to work as a team to get our country on the podium.
Sorry, is it okay if I add on to that? Yeah, actually, I think the mass start is a blast. I mean, I would say me and Jordan probably agree with that because there's so much going on. And growing up in the Midwest, around the Pettit National Ice Center, there were pack races almost every weekend or every other weekend growing up. So pack racing is just like a way of life. A lot of us grew up doing short track as well. And so that's one thing that I would say is a massive development to, you know, being a skater is being well-rounded, being able to skate around other people. It's helped in the team pursuit, being able to skate and follow Casey and Emery. And, you know, when you get out there with a bunch of people, it almost simplifies it down to just, you're just responding and not trying to convince yourself to push deeper as well in a time trial.
Sean Gregory from Time. Aaron, real quick on the flag bearer. Was there any sense of surprise when you heard you were getting the pick, or did you knew it might be coming?
Let's see. Well, I knew that I had been nominated by the speed skating group as their nominee, I guess. Say nominee twice. Yeah, so I knew that I was kind of in a list of maybe 7 or so people. I didn't know what my chances were because there were a lot of really heavy hitters and really worthy people to carry the flag. So yeah, it was definitely a big surprise because, yeah, I thought there were like legends who I was running against. So yeah, I'm really grateful to be able to carry the flag, and, you know, I'll carry it for all of us.
Hi, I'm going to stand because I'm sort of hiding back here. I'm Greg Lafrady from CGTN. Aaron, another question about flag bearer. First of all, congratulations on the honor. You've done and accomplished so much in your career already. Your 3rd Olympics. Is this going to feel different? Do you think you feel at all nervous? What do you anticipate the feeling of leading your team in the parade in the opening ceremony is going to feel like? And also, do you think that will give you extra motivation or impetus on the ice in competition?
Yeah, I think it'll definitely give me a lot of motivation because just walking out into opening ceremonies, like even without carrying the flag, it's this amazing feeling of like, okay, we're here, we're at the Olympics, we're surrounded by all these amazing people who have worked so hard to get to this point. And yeah, so just even being in the opening ceremonies, that's just like the start of the games, and it's always just kind of like a breathtaking feeling. And I think carrying the flag is just going to add to that, and I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, last time I got to walk beside Brittany while she was carrying it, and even that was amazing, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Eddie Kleiman, Anchorage Daily News. Question for Jordan. As you look upon achieving these big lofty goals, you've spent a lot of time in Alaska in the off season from the time you were younger, just getting started in the sport right up until now. I'm wondering how that has helped you, how that has shaped you as a person, as a competitor, as a skater.
Yeah, being outside has been, you know, kind of part of growing up. So I think it's kind of a different lifestyle than some of other people have lived. I mean, it's just kind of a break away from the normal. So I've done some training up there, you know, in the mountains. It's pretty fun. It's more rugged type, so certain things kind of happen, and then you have to deal with it. So it's not exactly just, you know, like staying back home and everything's really easy to go along with. So I guess it's maybe helped a little bit. I don't know how much, like, since I was a kid, but yeah, it's been fun.
All right. I want to thank you all for your time and interest and attendance today. With that, we'll conclude our speed skating press conference. Thank you all, and go Team USA.
Thank you, guys.
We're going to take a group photo.